So today I've got a pretty cool coverage trick for you to improve your defense against trips. We're gonna be focusing more so on static trips today. So really anytime there's 3 receivers to one side of the field, you guys are gonna be able to utilize this little coverage trick to create your own palms on the fly. So right now let's talk about what palms does. Now, whenever you're playing a cover 4 palms defense, and this also extends to the cover 6 defense when you have the cover 4 side against the trips as well, this defense is going to basically play a special set of rules in which the outside corner is going to basically man up the outside receiver no matter what. So for all intents and purposes, your play art is going to basically look like this if you were to have the ball snapped. We're gonna leave the outside quarter on this play. Now, with the quarter flat assignment, so long as you don't have zone drops on, what you're gonna notice out of the quarter flat is against a 3 receiver set, this player will play the middle receiver in a trips look if that receiver goes vertical. So it doesn't matter if he runs a streak, a post, a corner route, he will be matched vertically. If the receiver goes underneath on a drag route, this is going to result in the quarter flat playing his flat zone rules because he doesn't need to match, so he can be better utilized underneath. The trip side safety over the top is responsible for the inside most receiver in the trips going vertical. So Joseph, if Roma Dunze were to go vertical, will play match coverage on him. This is a great way to combat somebody who likes to run maybe a route combo like this. This would be kind of like a, I wouldn't call it a China, but it's kind of like a rendition of smash in which you're going to have a streak, a corner, and then like the hitch underneath is more or less going to be a shallow in breaking route. But what this allows for the defense to do is convert into kind of a man-to-man. And you see that you can't throw the corner route because the safety is matching Roma Dunze. And then of course, this is also valuable in the event that you're running maybe a concept like this, where Allen is running the post over the middle because now the middle receiver is going to be matched by the quarter flat. So you can't just necessarily go and chuck that there without the throw being in traffic. And of course, this is also why the cover 6 defense can be so valuable against trips formations, because on the backside of this coverage would be a cover 2 because 4 + 2 is 6. That's how it gets its name. So if we were to be running kind of the same principles out of a cover 6, let's say that we were running the exact same route combo, you'll see all of those rules playing out. So you're going to see the outside receiver is manned, the middle receiver is shut down by the quarter flat. And then on the other side of the field, if we were to throw this aforementioned post route, let's say in a hypothetical scenario where Keenan Allen actually gets open against this player and beats the match coverage, you also have a safety over here on the cover 2 side that could potentially make a play on this. We're talking about number 32 in the white. So in general, this is how palms is going to play specifically against a trip set. So now we're going to show you guys how to create this on the fly without having to call palms or cover 6 for this to work. Now, before I get into this little adjustment that we're going to be using, please make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Zan Madden YouTube channel. I'm dropping content every single day, Monday through Friday in the mornings to help you guys get better at the game. And if you guys want to get even better at the game, you should check out gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans has been hard at work since launch of not only Madden, but also college football to keep you on top of the meta, or the most effective tactics available in those games, breaking down not only why they work, how they work, but also how to counter those things when you face them online. So you'll have the answers to the test before you even take it. Make sure you guys check out our subscription tiers. We have $9.95 tier for one game or the other. You guys can bundle both together for $14.95, and make sure you guys hop into our Discord where we have live lab sessions every single week taking your questions about the game. And if I don't have an answer for you, we'll live lab it on the fly and get it for you right then and there. And a lot of times the questions end up directing the direction of the vault for future content. Sometimes players will see something online, say, hey, I experienced this. Have you seen this before? And then it ends up being something we talk about, and sometimes more often than not, in fact, elaborating on it and making it even better. So go check it out. $9.95 a month unlocks the entire website. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys a cool little trick to make this match palms on the fly on your own. The only rule set for this is that you want to make sure that you turn your curl flats, your flats, and your hooks to default settings. This is a great on the fly thing, but if you guys set your zone drops for your curl flats, you're going to be a little disappointed in some cases. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to call, let's go cover 2 hard flat. I just want to show you how we could set this up out of anything we want, literally anything we want. So we're going to start off with our safety on the trip side being hot routed to an inside quarter. We're going to take our outside corner and place them into an outside quarter. Then from there, we are going to try to change our slot corner into a quarter flat, but that's not an adjustment that is available. However, one adjustment that we have is the seam flat. And if you guys utilize the seam flat, this is actually going to create palms coverage for you. I'm going to explain why, but before we do, I'm actually going to call a cover 3 match so you can understand what a seam flat does. Now, in a cover 3 match, a seam flat zone is actually responsible for the number 2 receiver. So that is the second receiver numbering outside to inside. So I'm going to run a concept right here in which right bumper is going to run a corner route, B is going to run a streak, A is going to run a streak as well. Now, focusing solely on the right side of the field, I'm going to put this seam flat. I want you to watch how the seam flat plays the second receiver. If he goes vertical, notice how he matches it. Now, this is a great start because this rule is essentially the rule that we want from our quarter flat in our special palms rule. So when we go ahead and call a palms call or adjust it on the fly out of anything we want, for instance, let's go ahead and call double mug, you're going to see that you guys can create palms out of a scary defense such as the double mug. So let's say for whatever reason, you know, we could go ahead right here, the linebackers out of the box. We would definitely want this guy to be giving the threat of pressure. So we'll simulate that. We're going to still put our safety on an inside quarter. We're going to put our outside corner on an outside quarter, and we're going to change our slot into a seam flat. When you do this, this effectively turns the entire defense into match. And the reason for that is the flat zone that is on that side of the field dictates what the deep zones do. If it's a matching style flat zone, in this case a seam flat, it tells the deep zones to play match as well. So remember, in palms, the outside corner is responsible for the outside receiver no matter what he does. I'm going to prove this by putting a drag on the field. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a streak to Y and a corner route to X. Now I want you to watch how this coverage plays out on this play. We snap the football, and you're going to see that the outside corner matches, the middle receiver is matched by the seam flat, and the safety takes the inside-most receiver one-on-one. So with 2 quarters in a seam flat, we have created palms on the fly out of a formation that does not have palms built into it. So let's go ahead and optimize this real quick before we round the video out. Of course, with the double mug meta, the number one thing that most players are going to do is they're going to choose a cover 0 shell. The reason for this is they want to give the threat of the mid blitz. So what we could do, in fact, we could actually just call this out of mid blitz if we really wanted to, but you guys could go ahead and let's say I wanted to turn this into a cover 6. Well, what you might go ahead and do is call cover 2 Tampa 2 on a cover 0 shell, and then you're going to change your slot corner on the right into a seam flat, your outside corner into an outside quarter, and your trip side safety to an inside quarter. Now, depending on what the formation is, this may cause your receiver, the third receiver, if you're showing a cover 0 shell, to be lined up as if it's man-to-man. If this is something that bothers you, then go ahead and just, you know, play this on base align or choose a different shell. But now in this instance, no matter what they do, this is now effectively a matching style coverage. So let's go ahead and run dagger. And I want you to watch this crossing route. You're gonna see that the safety matches X, B is matched, and you have underneath zones that are bracketing that in throw to the B receiver. So really the only thing on this play that could have been thrown is probably this crossing route because we ran off the deep half safety on the left with a streak to Komet. But you'll see right here, the match was actually pretty good until Anzalone got picked by the player that was matching, or vice versa. Really, it was Anzalone picked the player that was matching DJ Moore on the crossing route. But I mean, you look up top here, the seam flat is matching Keenan Allen, And of course, you guys can take advantage of these adjustments however you see fit. If you only wanted parts of the match available to you, you could still absolutely change the slot to a seam flat. Maybe you just want to match the 2 outside players, but you want to keep a cover 2 look over the top. That's fine. In this case, maybe you would man up X. That way you have somebody dedicated to them. And now all of a sudden you're playing a hybrid version, kind of an overly advanced version of palms, where no matter what Y and B do, they're going to be matched, and then X is manned up individually, and then you're in a spot where you can kind of read the pattern and react. Oh, this tight end's underneath. Everything's matched accordingly on this play. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this breakdown. This is something you could do out of any defense, literally any defense. Keep in mind that it's not just slot corners that get seam flat adjustments. Outside linebackers in 4-3 and 3-4 also do as well. So you guys can create palms on the fly, and this is going to really help you guys against trips. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.